And now, I would say it is time to decide Entente or trust in the West. And then we're going to start fortifying. So, Entente of our own will allow us to go to the Security Council, which is the plus 15% max planning, which does go very well with the Grand Battle Plan doctrine that we have just selected. This will also allow us to ally with Yugoslavia and Romania, which will give us an escape route. If everything goes to hell and we keep this open, we'll be able to escape. Because Romania is far less likely to fall than we are. Plus, they will send us additional troops. So then it is just up to us to hold on to Dayton, which is what the Czechs did relatively well in the previous game. Or we can trust in the West, which increases the chances, I think, of Britain and France actually accepting the guarantee and coming to our assistance, but it might not actually happen. So, yeah. Let's do another poll. Which direction? Trust in the West. And trust in the West also has the extra research slot. Important to note. Or little Entente. So trust in the West is the pro-Britain, pro-France research slot. Little Entente is Romania, Yugoslavia with the extra max planning. Vote, vote, vote! Get your votes in! Is there any way to preemptively Anschluss Austria instead of Germany? If we went fascist, probably. Oh, bloody hell. 90%! And a lot of you have voted. That's quite impressive. Democracy in action, yeah, crikey. Okay, I thought a couple of the votes that we've had recently were one-sided. This is one-sided. It's becoming slightly less so, but it's still pretty damn one-sided. Crikey. Madness. So yeah, I'm going to say that this is basically done, because we have got 10% of you saying that we should trust in the West, whereas 90%, 90, are going with the Little Entente. And that is definitely the most overwhelming vote I think we've ever held, so we're going with the Entente. The Little Entente has lapsed in recent years, but it could rise yet again if our former allies are willing. Let's create the Czech Entente. Alright, we've got the dispersed industry. 37, that's a 38. This would allow me to get hospitals. Yeah, let's get motorized for hospitals. You can vote in mobile. You should have the. You should be able to vote in the latest version of the app. Make sure you have it fully updated, and you should be able to vote on it. That's why I stopped doing the /vote spiel. Right, and we can choose another one of these, and I think it's time for us to start fortifying. There's another recovery rate, so we can have 20% recovery rates. Which would seem to be good. Or we could go for Skoda now. Now, do we have... Yeah, armor tech, 100% research bonus. Let me think about this for a second. So, we want to get the heavy tank soon. The next heavy tank's not available until 41, so the earliest we could probably research it would be 39 with that bonus. Let's go ahead and get Skoda so we can get that going, because we're also going to want to get more of the defensive people. Nationalist Spain declared war on the Regional Defence Council of Aragon. Nationalist Spain declared war on car lists. 4 ways of a war, though that is a tiny car list. Wary of being increasingly sidelined and having their influence over the nationalist front more and more curtailed, the Carlist forces under Manuel Falconde have renounced their affiliation with the nationalist cause, declaring their own independent insurrection. The Carlist Requites, predominantly in the north of the country, have turned on their erstwhile allies, while at the same time continuing the fight against their Republican enemies. And the Republicans are not actually surrounded anymore. The anarchists kind of got smashed. It's actually the nationalists who are suffering the most. Alright, let's get the army regrouping. Oh, that's true. We're going to need to spend 140 days working on those two. But we want to do that before they join anyone else. Some of these Czech focuses could really do with being a bit shorter, like those diplomatic ones. Because time is ticking. Alright, so we have the Entente of our own. Which is the mutual guarantees. So they're not in the faction yet. We're guaranteed by Romania and France. The need to fortify our border is clear, but the question is, how? The French have recently constructed an incredible fortified line of their own, the Maginot Line, and by spending a delegation to study their methods, it would be possible to solve our own border defense problems. Yeah, you're short on manpower. Extensive conscription is not until there. How are we doing with the old democracy? 68.6%. It's rising. It's definitely rising. When does Germany usually attack? End of 38. Something like that. I still can't see their focus, despite the fact I am spying on them. That's a bit annoying. Grand Battle Plan. Right, there's the defense and organization buff, which I desperately need. And we also have enough now to grab engineer companies. Or support anti-air. No, we need engineers in our infantry. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Because these massively increase defense. I'm not going to bother with AT. I'm going to use heavy armor for that. heavy tank destroyers. Here come the Germans. That's not worrying. Not very many of them, but enough to cause concern. Well, I can never infiltrate because we only have one spy and I never intend to get another one. I was hoping to just use the elusive gentleman, but he keeps disappearing. The Sudetenland. The mountainous border with Germany is the perfect place for border defences. Having studied the French Maginot Line, we can build a similar line of our own. Oh, this also gives manpower. Awesome. Also, I think we were supposed to receive a fortification bonus from this. Because this one references modify fortification focus by recruitable population, except we don't have a fortification focus. December 37. We're going to wait until 38 and then we'll start researching some other stuff. Is that Austria-Hungary? No. Secret rearmament. Where is that? Over here. I don't know which direction Hungary has gone. Oh, they've gone pro-fascist. So we are going to need to defend our borders against probably Austria and Hungary. January 38, here we go. Let's go and get that research. Sudetenland, Bohemia, Eastern and Western Slovakia. Sudetenland, Bohemia, Eastern Slovakia, Eastern Slovakia. I can't remember what they were again. Sudetenland, Bohemia, Eastern Sudetenland, Western Slovakia. So, nothing there. Eastern Sudetenland. Was it Western Slovakia? Yes. Actually, I have a feeling that you two get given away. So we're going to upgrade these to level 2 at the very least. There is, but here's the thing. These are add forts, not set fort level. So what you actually want to do is build the early ones first, then get this focus. The reason for that is the early forts are cheaper. So you get like to level 3 and you get the really cheap ones, then you do the add forts to get them to level 6. And you build them way faster that way around. Alright, we want you to be tank destroyer. Which we do research very quickly. And we do have a factory available. Yes, we do actually need some motorized. And then I think I'm going to start switching out the light tanks for heavies. There's the early fortifications. Let's get the middle ones. The Sudetenland now boasts a decent defensive line, but decent is not good enough when our national survival is at stake. More Germans are arriving. Do I want support AA? Let me think about this for a second. As opposed to inline AA. No, I think it's got to be support AA. Because what I could do is I could remove one infantry and then do artillery and AA like this. And that's still 20 combat width. Reduces our defense, which means it will take more damage. But also inflicts more damage. Quite a lot more damage. No, we don't need inline AA actually, because we're going to get tank destroyers. So we're going to get support AA. Now. And that also gives us probably enough piercing to pierce light tanks. Where are the tank destroyers going? Tank destroyers are going in here as soon as I get 25 experience to actually afford them. My concern is we're not going to get to 70% before the war starts. So I think I'm just going to save political power. We can always grab one of the others if we need to. Because we can just get the army logistics guy, for example, last second if we need to. Okay, we are actually fully recruited up now. And once we get this, that's going to be another 0.3 recruitable population, which is good. We can get to 2.1, so we're still recruiting more. So I think what I'm going to do is recruit some more of these guys. And then also some more of these. Is there any way to see the total air combat losses other than watching the air combat screen of the region, number of planes in each country? Yeah, so if you click on air up here on the top right, then click on this equipment details, you'll get a drop down of... Oh no, that's just how many you have. I think once you go to war, there's another icon that appears over here, which is losses, and that shows everyone. I've never actually looked at it for Air Force, so I hope that's true. Alright, we have AA in our divisions. We could actually train up a couple more. I think I will. Alright, so we've got the advanced fortifications. We could go to the next maximum level, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to invite Romania officially. Although this does put me at risk of an invasion from the Soviets. What numbers do you look for when making templates for infantry? Do you mean in terms of combat width, or just what stats? Because if you mean by the what stats, then infantry is usually organization. That's probably one of the most important. Soft attack if you want them to do some damage. Defense if you want them to hold the line. So organization's the big one, then soft attack, defense. Probably in that order. And then armor if you're going to be adding heavy tanks. Okay. Let's get those built. Need to get some more factories out, and we could probably also do with buying some steel now, because we really do need to get equipment and troops in the field sooner rather than later. Ah, Germany's doing Anschluss. Okay, now we can see what they're doing. And demand Sudetenland would be next after this. We can't see their progress, so we don't know exactly when they'll do it, but it's probably roughly when we finish. Don't forget you have a wonderful civ to military conversion rate. True. I'll be honest, I never do that unless I'm the United States, because I like being able to build more stuff during the war. Maintenance companies who capture enemy kit. I don't think we're going to struggle for that. I have a bad feeling that manpower is going to be our Achilles heel. $38. That's a $39. Yeah, we can upgrade these. Got the research already. Yay. Romania and the Entente. The Kingdom of Romania has agreed to join us in the Entente. A military delegation has arrived to discuss defensive arrangements. The Anschluss of Austria after a successful coup d'etat by the local Nazi party in Vienna. German troops have crossed the Austrian border and taken control of the country. No fighting has been reported, and the German soldiers were greeted by cheering crowds in the cities. Speaking to the Italian population along the Dalmatian coast, Benito Mussolini has announced that Italy fully considers Italian-speaking territories in Yugoslavia to be a rightful part of Italy. Well, I would say that we probably need to invite Yugoslavia then. Right now. Little Entente reaffirmed. Czechoslovakia today announced that the almost defunct Little Entente alliance system will stand by their commitments. A statement released by the Foreign Office announced, Czechoslovakia is not a great power, but it is a regional power. It is our firm belief in the alliance the regional powers can and will prevent the so-called great powers from meddling in our affairs. And I'm now going to start building some heavy... Was that a heavy tank destroyer or a heavy tank? I want them. Oh, these cost chromium. Interesting. So we don't need to defend this bit. Hungary... Bled agreement. They're still rearming. I don't know what Hungary's doing. They're still non-aligned, but I feel like fascism is growing. Oh yeah, rapprochement with Hungary. Or dissolve Hungary. I hope this won't be a very short war. Yeah, so do I. So do I. And I honestly have no idea. Okay, Germany's aligning Hungary right now. So he hasn't gone for Sudetenland. So thank you, Hungary, for buying me some time, but also, Hungary, you might be about to screw me.